Okay, hello my friend. Hopefully you are doing great. In this tutorial, I'm gonna show you how to run your testing parallel in multiple devices via network. That means you are not going to use two devices on the same connected to the same PC again, but you will have another PC that will have some other devices connected. So in a real project, especially in some bigger project, so you may have a lot of devices and you cannot use just only one PC with a lot of devices connected to your PC. So in that case, we need Selenium Grid. And this tutorial will be a little long and a little complex. So I need you to pay attention if you want to run your testing parallelly on multiple devices via network successfully, because there are some tricks and some tips I want to share you that I don't want to see you face any similar problem like some my other colleagues, they got conflicting when running parallel. Okay, so first thing first, let me try to explain for you something before we hand on to do further step. So here, what I'm gonna do that I will have, you can go and search for something like Selenium Grid here. Not this one. You can search Selenium Grid Architect. I don't want to reply something like this. You can find it from Google and you can see yourself that Selenium Grid is a concept that you have a hub and nodes connect to the hub to distribute your test via network. You can do on the same PC as well, but it doesn't make sense if you have a Selenium Grid in the same PC here. Okay, so you have a hub and you have nodes, right? So let me try to tell you something specific in automation test parallelly with Selenium Grid with Appium. So when I send something like this one, let's go back to our test configuration here in parallel. When I send something to this one, I will send to a Selenium Grid, right? And the Selenium Grid will, based on the capability that I sent over to it, and select a node to route our testing to a correct node, right? So I want to make sure one thing, that's when I send some capability, let me write out, I have some capability, and I send to Selenium Grid. That means I will send to the hub, and the hub will select for me a node to route my test to. So I want it route to an Appium server, a node with the Appium server, and that means under this Appium server, that means it's a PC is running like this PC, right? So I want to make sure we have a connected device related to this PC, because if you try to route some capability that have something like some UDID, some other device that is not existing in the target PC, that will be a problem. Your test will be failed. So I will set up and make sure that this Appium server will have something like a unique parameter, and then the hub can select correctly. So it's very hard if we use some existing parameter like that. the hub will not, will not select a node correctly for you, and your test will fail randomly. So we have another technique. So don't worry, I already prepared for you. We have another technique. And if you go to my repository here, and you open the repository custom matcher Selenium Grid, that means we can build a custom matcher based on the default matcher from Selenium Grid. It is a very simple, and what I did, I extended the default capability matcher from Selenium Grid, and I will specify something that's UDID here, because UDID is something unique, and I can, based on that, to route my test correctly, exactly to the target device on the target node. Okay, so I already included all the thing here for you, just in case you want to clone this shortcut and you do yourself. But I already have something like a jar file here for you. You can download it. Just click and download it, and then you can use along with the Selenium standalone server 3.141.59. Okay, so the first thing, you download this matcher. Just download it first. The second thing, you come to Selenium, as we is now Selenium Dev here, and you download the Selenium Grid server here, the latest stable version, not the alpha version. Okay, so you download it, keep, and then you move, you create a folder with the name Selenium Grid here, and then you put the Selenium server standalone, and let's open the, the download folder, and then you copy this one to here. Just copy, and you put it on the Selenium Grid. Okay, so you have Selenium server standalone and the custom matcher. You will know in details how to run this later. I already have it here. Here. So how to build, and here the hub config. So you just need to copy this hub config first. Copy the hub config. And you create a new file with the hub config here, and you paste here. So let me explain for you some configuration. The host here is the IP address of the DC where you run the hub. So in this case, my IP address will be 205. You can see something 205 here, you see, and I will put it here. Okay, so you need to specify, if you have a domain host in your company, you can put a domain here, or you can have a static IP you need to put here. And the port, this is the port for the Selenium hub running. So some other information is just optional, but to this slide is very important. So the capability matcher by default is will use the default capability. But now, what we are going to do, that we are going to use the matcher, the custom matcher from this chart file that I already did, and you already download, right? So this is the content. And the registry here, it should be something like default, but you need to put it here. This row is hub row, and all the option is just something by default, but this one is very important because we are going to use a custom method, not default method. And the reason that we want to route the testing script to correct target devices. Okay, pay attention about that. So how can I launch this hub? Okay, so let's go back to my repository here. You just copy this command line, okay? Copy it. So you see that I have the role hub and the hub config. That is the hub config.json file. So you need to navigate to the Selenium Grid here and you specify the command for you. So this one, I want a cd to Selenium Grid, right? And I will copy and paste the contents. I already did it. And here you see, we are something like the command line Java, and we combine Selenium server standalone, this file, and we have a column here, and then we have Selenium Grid custom method. This is the file name, this file, and we have Selenium Grid launcher version 3, role hub, and hub configure is this file. Okay, and then we enter. Now the hub is now started in this address, this PC address with the port here, and you can open this one, enter, and you go to console here. So there is now not registered to this hub yet, so we need to register some node to this hub. So let's see how can we do that. Okay, the next step that I wanna use this real device on this machine. Let's try to search down this emulator, because what I'm gonna do that I will use another emulator on another machines. I don't know how to remote for you to see my screen in another PC, but after I register that node into this hub, you will see it. Okay, so now I will use the real device for this PC. So I will start the APM port on 6000 here, and this is the host. Okay, let me explain for you. You create a new JSON file here, and in this case, I will name it node 6000. That means I will start the IPM server 6000 on the box 6000 for this file, and the config inside that is something browser name, the version, something is just you can boost anything. Device name, this is Samsung J7, okay, and there's a very important thing that is UDID, okay, the UDID. Why? Because what I'm gonna do that I will sense this information to the host, and my host already knew the information that I have some custom method inside for the UDID. So when there's a request coming, it will know where to route the testing correctly. So this one is a very important information. So let me copy the UDID from the real device here. Just copy it, and then I copy to the node configuration here. Okay. Proxy, default proxy, URL, this is the IP address where the APM server running. So the same, this is the same address here, and it should be on the box 6000, and WD hub by default. The host, the port should be the same from here. and mesh is a mesh session. So you need to remember that the mesh session for this node can serve at the same time, just only one. You just run only one test script at the same time on this device. Okay. So resity cycle. This is the hub port, the buffer, and this is the address of the hub ports. The same machine here, same ID, and protocol is HTTP by default. So I want to launch this Appium server along with this configuration, and I want to register to the hub. So how can I do that? I will do something like Appium -p 6000 should be the same. Okay, should be the same here, 6000, and with the node config from the Selenium Grid and the node 6000 config, enter. Enter. You see, we need something -- not config here. You see, it started and it's now trying to register. So it's registered to the grid. If you come to the grid console here and you refresh, you will see here we have a new node registered to the hub with some configuration here inside. You can see the configuration inside, and we will see something UDID here. Okay, so I will do the same thing to register another node in another machine to this hub. So just wait a moment. I'm switching to my machine here. Okay, let's see. I start the emulator on the machine, and that emulator have the UDID emulator 5554. What I'm gonna do that I will copy the node configuration here, and I will stock it in the port 7000. Even the 6000 is okay because it's now in different PC, but I want to specify in another port here. So let me create a new configuration file. Then I rename it to 7000 here. Enter. Okay, we have Android device name, application name. Okay, this UDID device name is emulator and UDID. So the URL and the grid IP HTTP should be 7000 here. 7000, and the host URL port. Okay, let me try to specify a command, and then I will register to the hub Appium -p 7000 - node configure and the node configuration. Enter. Enter. Okay, it's now registered to the hub. Let's refresh here. Okay, you see another node here from another IP address from another PC. This is my PC IP here, and this is another PC and another port here. And we have something like UDID emulator 5554 here. So everything is now set up. Let's summarize a little before we run it. So first thing first, you need to download the Selenium server standalone from Selenium homepage. So the second thing, you need to download the custom matcher that I already did it here for you in this folder. You can download, or you can build yourself by using these commands, and that will select something like under the target folder for you. The next step, you need to create a hub configuration file with some information that I already explained for you. And finally, you specify this command to launch the hub with correct configuration. Next step, you need to create a node configuration file for your Appium server, and do not forget this very important parameter, because our custom measure now will based on this information from capability to route to the target device. Okay, and you need to pay attention. We are using to use the ID or domain name here, not localhost or nothing. Even in the same localhost here, you use the ID or the domain name. Okay, and then you specify a very simple command, appium-p, the port number, and then --node config, and you point out the node configuration to start the Appium and register to your Selenium hub here. And you do the same thing for another machine. Okay? So if you are on the same machine, everything will be the same and everything will be easy, like you do parallel on the same machine before. But the thing here that you are distribute your test file network in several PC, so you need to make sure to do it correctly. Okay. So now we need to have something like another tag configuration. Let me copy this one and name it grid parallel. Enter. And inside I need to delete something. I don't need the port here. No, I don't need the port. I don't need the system port here. I can keep the device name, and here another thing you need to remember when you send this capability to the grid, if you have some error that you are missing the prefix vendor. So in case you send this to the grid, you need to input some vendor prefix, that's the Appium hyphen and the capability name. Okay, you just do the rest. Do the rest for all of those parameters. Okay. Okay, everything is now okay. So in the main configuration file here, you need to change one more thing. So the runner is local, it's okay, but the host name now should be the IP address, and you need to open the port because we are going to send to the port 4444 and the IP address should be 192.168.1.205 here. This is the IP address. So the path, yeah, I think the path is okay. We can keep it. And then when we run it, it will send the capability from here to the grid, and the hub will use this UDID to route to correct device. Okay, so this emulator, no, this is the real device, so just copy here, and this is for emulator. Okay, now we come back to the execution terminal and we run npm test. Let's say that we will run the same test script here from the main, okay? So npm test and test configuration and grid parallel, enter. So you will see that, okay, some error. What kind of error? Failed to create session. I can see it's running on the other machine, but in the first one, there's something wrong for the first one. If you come to Selenium Grid, you can see something here. It's now blurred. That means it's now using did not, but something is incorrect for did not. So let me see what is wrong with did not, okay? We can have one pass here for the emulator from another machine. But we need to make sure what is wrong on this npm node. Just go back to the error request. Cannot find the capability. npm UDID. npm UDID. Just go back to the node here. Sorry for the background noise around. Let's see. This is the UDID rate. UDID's device name. It doesn't matter, but try to put it correctly here. Device name. I don't think we need something like platform. I don't think we have something like browser name here. Put it a version. This is the URL, IP address, the port, the hub port, hub URL. Okay, let's try to register this node again. Okay, let me try to shut down the hub first. Run it again because I don't want to see it skip any previous session. And then I will register the npm again. I will refresh the hub. This is from other machine. And this is from our machine here. Configuration. Yeah, just go back to our test configuration again. So the first capability here, npm Android emulator, this is UDID, npm UDID here, and the value here. And we already have this device connected. Okay, just run again. Enter. Do we receive any? Okay, now we receive the information from the grid, and power of this node is running. If you come to the Selenium Grid now, power of them are now blur. You see, they are blur. That means they are using two nodes to run our test script. Here, you can see. This is npm log. This is execution log. This is for the group emulator nodes capability. You see, this is the nodes capability. Okay, we have something node capability here. That's good. And the test is executed successfully. Let's try to delete the report and run it again to make sure it can route the test script successfully every single time we run it again. Try to come to the Selenium here. npm here. Okay. Execution. Okay, everything's working properly now. Okay, just open our test report. See what we have here. So we have 4 test scripts, one on emulator and another one from Samsung J7. So this emulator comes from another PC, right? Another emulator from another PC. And this is our real device here. So that means we have just successfully, okay, after each test done, you see, it's now, the blur is now disappear. So that means those not are available. So after the test done, everything will be back normal here, and we can, finally, we can distribute our test in parallel via network. Okay, very easy, but it's tricky for you to measure you do everything okay. So if you want to measure, you try to keep running and running every single time you measure that it can route the correct capability to, you see here, is it the real device UDID. So that means every single time I run it, this hub is always routing to the correct Appium server for me, and there will be no conflicting. My test will be run on a specific device from my architect, okay? So my architect that I want one Appium for one device specifically, and I don't want to see any conflicting. So that's why we have something we call custom measure here. And if you go to the source code, you can see have something like if you see something like basic measure, that means we don't have a UDID from the capability. So if you fold out the basic measure, but if we have something like result, we will have something like not capability printed down from the hub console log here. You see something like the not capability here. So that we make sure that we are sending the UDID, because UDID is something unique, and then you can base on to route your test correctly to the target device. So try to practice. I know this lesson, this tutorial is a little hard compared to other tutorial, especially for beginners. But once you know how to distribute your test in parallel via grid, that means you are now in up level how to create your test script, and then you can run on multiple devices via network. So keep practicing and see you in next lessons.